working on right now. I'm gonna move this camera over. How do I get this to be like over there so you can see what I'm doing? Is that accurate? Like when I'm here? Can you still see me? Yeah, you can. Cool. Okay. I wish it was like angled. Oh, you know what? I can do it like this. Sorry. We're learning as we go, okay? Nope, that's way worse. Okay. Can I get it to stay like that? It's kind of behind me, but you can see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. We're gonna paint. Okay. So what we're gonna be doing today is you can see this boot is redder than this boot, and then you can see that like this arm is redder than even the redder boot. So what we're doing right now is basically bringing up the color step by step. We're going to increase this boot's redness first to about that color, and then we're going to highlight both of them to that color. So that's kind of what we're going to be working on. So World Bear Red. This is what we're going to be working with here. Sorry, that's my paint shaker. Okay. Put a little World Bear Red here. Alright. Probably good with like a. Oh, I have to reorganize my brushes and shit. Damn. So this used to be over here on this side, and that's how I was working with it. But when I wanted to stream, I was like, okay, stream it. I had to get the second camera, and then I was like, well, now everything's gonna be blocked, so I had to move this over here. Also, it didn't make any sense it was over here. I'm just left-handed, so having my paints and stuff were all here was helpful. But like honestly, this is the better place to have it because it's like it's in the correct location. Not that there's like a correct, like a right or wrong, but this one's what extra small. Yeah, this is small. Do we have a medium? Here's a medium. Oh my god, our water is filthy. So we have to clean that. I'll be right back. Clean water. I really should be cleaning after I'm done at the end of the day. But I guess I got lazy the last time I painted. But I'm hoping I'm still like audible over here. I think that I should be. I think so. We're gonna just assume we are. If you can't hear me, let me know. If there's a you. Okay. So this is mostly solid. Taking this world bear and just kind of going over most of it, but then giving like highlights. We're going over it lightly. Like a nice, a little more water. A fairly light coat over most of it, just bringing the color up a little bit. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, I see it. Now, for some reason, I noticed the color saturation on this camera is way higher than what it is in real life. This is much more of like a brown color and less like bright red that this is making it. It's not that bright, I promise. So we're going over it kind of lightly, leaving like kind of the brown in some of the crevices. And then we'll be going over like the highlighted areas even more, like a second coat. So things like this, where we have these like divots. I don't know if you can see the little divots, the wrinkles in the cloth. I'll move this down a bit. I'll be leaving a lot of that brown in. Then when we're done, we're gonna go over it with like an Agrax Earth shade, just to give it more contrast. And that's not even including the very red highlights we're going to be adding. It's very hard to paint on a camera because usually when I'm painting, I do it like right in front of my face. So it's very weird to do it kind of over here. It's different. But we're learning new things as we go. Covering all these major areas. We're really trying not to leave almost anything brown. The brown is more of like a base coat. But like right in where the ropes are and stuff, in this little speck, things like that, we're gonna leave darker, just to give like kind of a contrast pop. So you can really see the shadows in the darker areas standing out, and how much different they are really from the brightly lit areas. They're getting full sunlight, I guess. Yeah, it would be like sunlight. I don't really know what I'm doing. I've been painting for a long time, off and on. I started when I was pretty young. Shit, I have to change my title or my category. Um, art. Is there just like an art? Art. Let me see. Let me see if I have to like Google this. Is there a painting category on Twitch? Mini painting or miniature should be a category. Yeah, well, okay, I get that. Okay, apparently there is art. Wait, there's painting as well. I don't see it. What is this? It's just art? That's the best I can do? Maybe we do creative? Is creative better? I don't know. Creative. No, there's not. In the arts. I think it's literally just art. But I feel like art is a game. And I'm not trying to do... Okay, we're just gonna do art. Oh wait, art. Fuck. What is art live? Is that a game? Art live category Twitch. Man, I don't get it. This is like way too hard. Okay. Okay. Back to doing stuff. It's already started to dry. You can see the difference is less intense. You can really start seeing some of those shadows and stuff, which is cool. Also, you're looking at it from like a weird angle because we're looking kind of up into it. And a lot of that's going to be either not visible or would be in shadow anyway. So it looks like on camera that it's way more brown than it should be, that I missed a lot of spots, but I think in reality, the spots that you can see are not actually represented by what the camera's looking at right now. Oh no, I'm not even looking. That coat went on really poorly for some reason. I feel like a lot of water absorbed into the paint while I was sitting there for a second, which was not ideal. But it's okay. I just have to do a second coat anyway, so it's not the worst thing in the world to have it just be a little thinner. I just don't want it to end up splotchy. Splotchy is no good. Now the constant question of, is what I'm painting currently on camera? It's really hard to tell. I have to keep looking over at the monitor. It's kind of a difficult feat, if we're gonna be honest. To do while painting. So that's a little leather piece. That would not be red. There's a little bit of skin I need to touch up on the back of his leg here. I don't know if you can tell, but it's bothering me. Right in here. There's supposed to be more skin showing through. We currently don't have very much skin showing through, and I don't love that. Especially because going back and adding skin underneath something like that, I'm almost always going to make a mistake, and then I'm going to have to relayer the paint on top of it. But I think a lot of that is just me being less experienced than some of these crazy painters I see on Twitch or on YouTube. Because I'm just not that. I'm not a crazy painter. I enjoy painting. I understand some basics about like basic colors and layering. But yeah. I'm by no means a professional painter or anywhere near it. And ironically, even though I started painting like a very long time ago, I didn't paint for painted until I was about 15. And then stopped. Wait a minute, is this Gecko stream? It's hard to hear you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Awesome. That was a question I wanted to know earlier. This is a Gecko stream. Holy shit, Marine Mike. Buddy. Buddy, I'm sure you can hear me up here. I'm turning the gain way up. Hold on. Tell me if it's better now. Can you hear me better when I'm yammering to myself over here? Is this better? Sorry, nobody was in the stream, so I was just kind of chatting to myself. Someone was in earlier. People were in earlier, checking on when I was playing chess. But where are we? Where are we sound-wise? Are you still here? Did you run away already? Did you abandon me for greener pastures? I think you've already abandoned me. Damn. Well, hello, Mike. I'm sorry that I wasn't faster to catch you. It's hard when I'm painting to look up all the time. See how people chatted. You are definitely one of those people who deserves a prompt response, and I'm sorry that it wasn't giving you one. You have certainly earned it in my channel. I'm like, I keep going off camera. This is my first time learning how to do a painting stream. To learn like what angles the camera is catching. But yeah, Mike, I'm trying to come back and stream a bit more, be a bit more involved. I realize that I have like a bunch of hobbies that I'm doing. Like I learn chess. I'm learning chess, I should say. I play a lot of chess. I paint a lot of figures. And I still game. I'm still doing all these things. I was just sitting around wondering the other day, I'm doing all these things, why aren't I streaming these things? And what I realized was I just do not have a good answer for that. There's no real reason for it. I just haven't been. So I'm gonna really highlight these a little bit more. Just accentuate the parts that are really gonna stand out. Because then when I go and highlight it with red, it's gonna give it an even brighter color. I'd love to hear if you can hear me better now. I don't know if you're still here. Maybe you left already, which is okay. But yeah. I haven't quite figured out the mic solution for like being across the room when I'm painting. Just doing a little bit of. Who the fuck is that? Somebody's calling me. Just a random number I don't know. So we're gonna not worry about it. Just continue doing a little bit of highlights. Just where I really think the light would catch. This is basically what I'm going to be doing with the red in a minute. The more I kind of layer these colors, the more they're going to pop later. One thing I've noticed about this guy is, having not painted in a long time, there's a lot of like flesh on him. You can see, obviously. So getting these realistic transitions between parts of his body that's being hit by light, like these shoulders, his head up here. Let's show it this way. And then the colors down here, the colors like under his arm, for example. Having like smooth transitions between these was really difficult. I didn't expect those to be as difficult as they were. It was a really good learning experience, I think. But then also, the other thing is normally, if I'm painting and there's like a shield or something, somebody has a shield, I'll spend like a whole bunch of hours trying to make the shield look really good. I learned with this guy like bigger models are fun, but man, when he just has I mean, just like this arm has like two shields, two normal size shields as like part of his body. This is just like arm armor. And there's what, three shields here? This one, this one, and this one. And that just like sits here on his belly. Like this. So, you know, he's just got weapons hanging all over his body. You know, there's I should have known this, but it's like a lot more work than I really expected. I thought it was gonna be kind of like this fun little project, no big deal. Similar to my other projects, but like just larger. And it is, but I didn't really like take into account how many details are involved in a larger model. This is really like the difficulty equivalent of, I would say like the time equivalent of painting like a whole squadron of smaller guys. So it's a learning process. I wonder if you can see what I'm painting, but when I'm painting it, I can't really tell. Anyway, again, I'm just touching up. I'm just kind of giving even brighter highlights. Same color over the brown of this World Bearer red. That's kind of like a brownish red. I'm just adding a second coat to really make the red pop a little bit more. Because when we go back over it with actual red, I want it to really have a lot of nice contrast. The more I build these colors up, the more that will show itself, I should say. Trying to just find the areas that would really be hit by light right now. Sorry, that leg is getting in the way. Sometimes these angles are very difficult to. They're hard enough to paint at, but then to have to paint while trying to show it on camera, it's very hard. we're gonna touch up this other leg real quick. One more coat. Figure out what to do while that dries before we go and put the red on. Though I don't know if I need to let it dry, to be honest. We're just kind of blending in these colors, so I can probably just go. I'll just dive right in. With the Mephisto red. Mike, if you're still there, I'm really sorry that I missed you. Or if you're not there and you watch this later, then you can know that I was really sorry. I hope I catch you again. I am trying to stream more frequently again. It's something I both enjoy doing and have no reason not to do, because it's not like I'm out here curing cancer and have other stuff I need to do. All right, just about done these highlights to the point where I think I'm highlighting some of the same shit I've already highlighted already, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But diminishing returns. At some point, it's just going to be saturated with the color that I'm putting on it. And adding more isn't really highlighting anymore. It's just layering more paint on top of it for no apparent reason. Oh, it looks like I missed this area, actually. Be really careful in here, because I don't want to ruin the skin tones. Which, frankly, I may have done already. Okay. Okay. I'm getting impatient now, so I should move on. Okay. Let me set him down so he's standing properly. I'll move this so you can see his face while I'm cleaning my brush. And we're gonna come in with some Mephisto red. I'm trying to be really careful. This one, I'm gonna put on my cool little glasses. Woo! For this one, oh, do I have Mephisto red here already? I kind of do. Maybe I'll just use this so I don't have to use more paint. All right, we're gonna go back in. Look how funny I look. back into highlighting. And really gonna just focus on that Mephisto needs a little bit of water. Not quite that much water, but really focus on stuff the light would hit. Some of it, like these broad areas, it's kind of going to get hit pretty evenly. So the edges will probably be a little bit brighter, realistically. But that's where the highlighting underneath comes into play, because the darker base part of it will automatically add some shades and some highlights if I just lay an even coat over top of this. See how much brighter that is. Really just standing out. On like these little parts, we're gonna be a lot more careful. A lot of these little shadows under here. You want to maintain those shadows. Give a proper illusion of like light contrast. Yeah, like that. Nice. I'm glad it looks good over there for the most part. I haven't had anybody confirm. But from my eye, it looks pretty good over there. I'm not sure how it looks like on stream for you guys, but I really had no idea how this is going to turn out, so I just got this brand new document camera to be able to stream with. It looks like those highlights are coming out nicely from where I'm sitting. All right. A little more water. So I'm using kind of old paint here. I was painting with maybe a week ago, but it's the beauty of a wet palette. Kind of just keeps everything good for a lot longer than it would otherwise be. Acrylic paints tend to dry out really fast, but the wet palette keeps them relatively fresh. This one felt like it got a little bit away from me. My highlight ended up being just the whole piece. But that's okay. Certain parts are gonna hit the light more, and we can just pretend that we did it on purpose. When we're done, we should come away with something that has like really good contrast. These minis, you kind of have to like introduce the contrast. The light doesn't hit them. Light hits small things much differently than it hits big things. And it looks different the way it reflects off of small things. And if you want it to be a believable big thing, then you have to kind of manipulate it to add contrast. So that it looks like it's reacting to the light the way a bigger model would. So for example, a shadow across my body will look way different than a shadow across the miniature's body. I have a large body, so I could block out a lot of the light, whereas the miniature is much flatter. So most of the light on the miniature is going to hit it pretty flatly and pretty evenly. So you have to kind of create that shadow where it's not there. That's where it gets hard for me as a not like professional painter, but like trying to learn like what if you go too far, your miniature starts looking really cartoony. Because now all of a sudden you've got like wild highlights that look almost like outlines. If you don't go far enough, your miniature also looks kind of cartoony because he looks fake. Then he just looks like a little plastic toy. So finding this balance of like how far do you go with the contrast is for me a fairly difficult task. Turn on a little light on this because it is getting a little bit hard for me to see the difference between some of these highlights. It's really making it pop, which I'm liking a lot. There's always like a lot of nerves for me in painting. I'm feeling unsure I'm going to be able to get the result that I want. Feeling not good enough to be able to make it look the way I want it to look. It always is so satisfying when you paint something that comes out pretty close to you imagined. It's a very gratifying feeling. The more you practice it, the more frequently it happens, the more you enjoy painting. It really becomes for me, it's a very enjoyable, like soothing experience. Helps my brain chill. My brain is not a chill place on its own. I will be very honest about that. giving it something to really focus on is super awesome. It's really starting to pop here. Ooh, it's calling me now. My mother. I will call her some other time. All right. We're getting close to this one leg being fairly good. I'm gonna keep this shadow here. Sometimes I struggle with that. I keep the shadow. I think that kind of does it. Keep, yeah, nice little shadow in that little crevice. Well, that's sort of what I meant. Those little crevices, those little things on a normal size body, normal size leg, especially a giant, would be huge and big shadow holes. On a miniature, you barely see them. So if you paint it flatly, it will look very flat. The light is not helpful. It will give you no help. It does not try to help you. If anything, it will do the opposite. Every now and then I make little mistakes like this. Get it on his foot, and that's okay. We'll fix it all later. There's a time and a place for righting all my wrongs in painting. But if I did it every time I made a mistake, it would never get done. At the end, I feel like almost all the details are done and it's pretty much close to finish. I will go back with an extremely fine brush and work very slowly and very diligently to touch every little spot. Make sure it's all the right color, that I haven't hit it with the wrong color. But right now we're just sort of getting the paint on. All right. That foot guard is looking pretty good. I like that. Now we're going to do this one. Again, I'm not sure why. I have to figure it out, but the saturation is wrong for sure. What you see as like super bright red is really just kind of reddish for me. Well, no, it's not. It's more than reddish. It's red, but there's hints of brown in it. There's a lot of depth to it that I feel like this camera isn't picking up, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it's a tiny bit frustrating when I'm excited and want to show it off, but it just looks like a big flat bright red piece. And the depth that I've worked to create is just kind of gone. And here I am talking about depth and shadows, and it just looks like I'm sloshing it in bright red paint, which I promise I'm not. I couldn't, given that I have never done a painting stream, I really couldn't justify shelling out like $1,000 for like a really nice DSLR just to like see if I like painting. This one's already like 200 something, almost $300. I think it does a really good job of getting like close up details that are hard to capture. Maybe I'll be able to fuck with the settings a little bit going forward. Let's see if I can unwash it out a little bit. Maybe for next stream. I'll try and have it less just totally saturated with color. I keep forgetting to check if the painting is on camera. It looks like it is. For the most part, it's doing okay. Sometimes it's really easy to paint highlights because you can just follow the way the light bounces off of it. But sometimes you have to keep in mind things like if the foot, when I'm like this, the light's bouncing off in a certain way, but when the foot is like this, the light would hit it differently. And so you have to kind of stop and check yourself and ask yourself, am I painting it as if he's standing up right now? And as if the sun is coming from the direction I want the sun to come from? Or am I just painting it based on the way that my goggles or these fluorescent lights are hitting it? Because that can be a wake up call. You paint for a while and then you stand him up and he looks all wrong. Because the light's like coming from the side or from the bottom. Because when you were painting, you were just copying the light. But your light kind of stays with you versus the sun, where, yeah, it stays where it is. Yeah, we like this. We like this. I did fuck that skin tone a little bit earlier. It's unfortunate. I'll have to touch that up later. Ooh, I don't like that. This is too watery. It's bubbling up a bit. Trying to like rescue this dead red from before. And there's so much you can do. At some point, you're adding so much water to bring it back to life that it just becomes liquidy. That it's not having any of the effect you want to have. It becomes more like a red wash than like highlights. Or worse, it'll just be super bubbly. Oh man, I'm not on camera at all. Or worse, it'll be super bubbly. And will literally look like water is just sitting on it for no reason. Starting to really pop a little bit. I'm feeling pretty good about it. Also happy that because I'm running out of this red for sure. You don't want to add more red to the palette just for like 2 more squares. Touch up. This big area looks like I didn't highlight it. I'm wondering if that's true or if it's just I highlighted it really lightly and it dried. I feel like it should be more red. Especially on these just standout spots. There we go. Just quickly looked over at this leg. I'm seeing other things that don't feel like I highlighted, so I'm starting to panic a little bit like I missed a bunch of stuff. hoping I did not. Just don't have enough red to do it all. Okay, that looks good. This leg. Touch this. That could use a little bit. Considering it's prominently in the front of his leg. Yeah. It actually did not fuck up the skin tone. I just needed to clean it up a little bit. Now I think it looks better. I'm gonna have to touch it with more skin tone at some point, but okay, I think those legs look really good. I'm really happy with those leg guards. Look really good. I'm really happy with how they came out. How you see it here actually is closer to how I see it. I was talking about the being oversaturated. When it's like this, that looks like crazy bright red. For some reason down here, oh, it still does now. How did I get it to desaturate a little bit? Ah, it's just a little bit more saturated than it should be. But you can see that it's close to this now. Whereas before it was like a brown. This has a little bit of a problem with a piece of, is that a glue spot? Glue is very, very, very bright. I should say very, very reflective. It's been bothering me. It keeps reflecting shit. Every time I look at it, there it goes. Okay. So yeah. You see this sort of arm guard is matching that a little bit better now. I'm going to wash it. I'm curious if I should wash it now, if I should wash it later. But this is all kind of in, like he's a very red color. This is like his scale, shield / scale belly armor. So this goes here on him. But as you can see here, I overwashed it a little bit, but I was trying to really give it like kind of a dirty, smudgy feel. So I'm gonna give everything a little bit of this wash, but it's gonna be a heavier wash on like the kilt area. I just imagine it's pretty filthy, and then like sort of a heavier wash around the base of the foot and the base of the leg guards. I want to really give it the sense that it's like pretty gross, pretty gross, pretty disgusting. Can give like a look at him this way thus far. So yeah, this is the progress, and like I said, this will go here. A lot of this is not done, just to be clear. This is still very much a work in progress. I think this goes like so. Yeah. So the under part is really just the dirty. The dirty part is really just what is going underneath of his top armor. Those are just kind of like his rags. And even though red is like a very important color for, it's like a primary color that I'm making for this guy, I want to like make sure that he's still coming off as like a pretty gnarly, pretty dirty kind of dude. And yeah, like I was talking about with shadows and lights earlier, like this area is brighter than this area because this is where the light's hitting, but it's also just like that. Like you can see over here, it's literally just not as bright colored. So that no matter how the light's hitting him, you should be able to see the way that the light is coming. If that makes sense. And that is something I struggle to do, but I've been working on it. Trying to get better. That's the process of painting every day. Getting a little bit better. Learning as I go. He's got this really interesting thing going on with his head here. I don't know how much closer I can get and still be in focus. Yeah. But he's got like a metal, like metal bandages almost. And like a metal bandage for his face. It's like pieces of metal holding his scalp and skull together, which I think has really interesting details. Oh, this is falling off. Let me take this off. He's got a lot of cool, really small, cool details. I'm excited to continue to push it, see where it goes.